1051.
Today is my official last day as stockroom supervisor.
Victor Cruz Entertainment presents The Stockroom.
I'm Joseph. This is Tina. This is the new girl.
Did you know Tupac is still alive?
Stockroom supervisor Joseph Rodriguez has always dreamed of pursuing the life of a stand-up comedian. And after a failed promotion,
The promotion isn't happening.
You told me I had the job. I bought an ice cream cake that feeds 18 people and there's no reason to eat it.
There's always a reason to eat ice cream cake.
The marina, now's not the time for that.
No, I love ice cream cake.
Spy 1051, home of the Breakfast Club. Angie Martinez, that hip-hop and R&B. She got an easiest to Sunday sit down. And this afternoon, Victor Cruz is in the building. Not football player Victor Cruz. Actor, director Victor Cruz. How's everything?
What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
Can't complain, but is that a problem for you, the Victor Cruz thing?
I tell you what, it's actually a plus, man, because when I make a reservation to a restaurant and I show up, they got an ice sculpture of a football waiting for me at the table. I show up and they're like, oh, you're not that Victor Cruz.
So that's happened to you before. Like,
It
people
has.
have definitely mistaken you when you're making reservations.
A lot, all the time. And they're like, oh, okay, we'll take you, sure. I'm sure when you heard Victor Cruz, you're like, oh, shit, we're going to get Victor Cruz
Absolutely.
in
When I
here.
got the text message, Victor Cruz coming up, I was like, okay, let me get some salsa up here in my Victor Cruz jersey.
Yeah, I mean, I can do a little salsa, but, I'm just not that Victor Cruz.
Oh, okay. So tell the people a little about yourself.
All right, well, my name is Victor Cruz. I'm a redhead Puerto Rican with freckles from the Boogie Down Bronx.
How'd that happen?
I think my father made love to a Lucky Charms box, and guapa, aquí estoy.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm an actor, I'm a director, I'm a writer, I'm a producer, I'm a stand-up comedian. I wear many different hats because, as you know, in this business, you got to do everything pretty much sometimes to succeed. So, out of self-defense, I started doing it myself, man.
Mm-hmm.
And here I am, dude. I've done a lot of great projects. My first thing as an actor, I was on an episode of The Sopranos.
Okay.
And that was a big deal for me because I was like, you know what? I made it. It's happening. It's going down. I invited my whole family to my house the night that the episode was going to air. Big deal. Come time for me to come on the screen. And they cut my line.
Damn! Your big moment. HBO cut
Big
it.
moment. HBO cut it, man.
But you
They're
got to check for it, though.
I got to check. My name was in the end credits and everything. You still saw me.
Absolutely.
For a glimpse. But, when your father's like, come on, you wasn't on the show. I was like, yo, Pop, I was on the show. Yeah, you lying to me. So, you gotta,
man. The Sunday.
VHS tapes at the time or Betamax, whatever you had, and you keep the kids home watching cartoons, and that was my life. So at the age of 11, I was clear that I wanted to be in the entertainment business. So that was a big inspiration for me. TV was my best friend. All those characters on them shows were my best friends. So I wanted to join them at some point.
Gotcha. So what was your first taste of celebrity, you would say?
Taste of celebrity. My first taste of celebrity, I think, was at the reading for the episode I was going to do of The Sopranos.
Okay.
I was in the room with everybody from the show. James Gandolfini was there, but he looked like Tony Soprano. Like he wasn't friendly like James friendly. He was Tony Soprano the whole time. Steve Buscemi was there.
Intimidating, huh?
Intimidating. I was afraid. I said my one line, and he looked at me like I said something wrong, like I said something bad about the family, And I was like, man, I'm going to get whacked after this. I don't even know if I'm going to make it to the shoot. So, no pun intended, the shoot. So that was probably my first sort of taste of it. But after that, I've done a lot of amazing projects where I've worked with some great directors, from Spike Lee to Tony Scott.
Who's your favorite director to work with?
Oh, man. There's a lot
Besides
of them,
yourself,
man.
that is.
Besides myself, looking in the mirror. I like the working with you, buddy. I would say, man, a lot of them have great moments all around. It's really just moments that you have that you realize why you're doing this. And I can't pinpoint an exact person, but I think all of them have these great moments that I've had a nice time. And there have been some tough ones that I can't think of right now who have yelled at me on set, just because that's their personality. I don't know, But
Got you. Mr. Sunday, sit down. It's your main man, EmEz. Victor Cruz is in the building. So it says here that you teach acting classes.
I teach acting classes, and I heard on one of the shows that you want to dabble into the world of acting a little bit.
I do.
I might be able to offer you some stuff there, and I'm serious about that.
What kind of techniques do you have on your classes?
Well, my techniques are really about offering the students a sense of self-confidence when it comes to the world of acting. What I mean by that is that a lot of times we could be very confident with our friends, with our peers, but when it comes time to dive into ourselves, to use things that we might need to play characters, we become very shy. We become very afraid of the things that we have to offer. Now, I'm not necessarily giving you anything per se. I'm only going to be there to show you what you've got to offer already. It's just for you to see that it exists within you. I help students with confidence. I've learned different techniques, anything from, if you go to acting school and you're familiar with, anything from the Meisner technique to the method. I've learned all of that stuff, but what I offer is really stuff that's worked for me, and it's really about self-development for the person. So in the end, if they decide they don't want to be an actor, they might say, well, I want to be a chef. That's fine. They've arrived to their truest purpose or journey in their life, and I'm cool with that too.
And what made you want to teach classes?
Be honest with you, I've always loved to help people. I've always loved to teach, sort of naturally. I've always helped friends in the past prepare for auditions. And then someday I just decided, let me try and see if this is something that I can do. And back in 2011, believe it or not, I held a workshop. I didn't know who was going to show up. It was a free workshop. Close to like 40 people showed up to this thing. I didn't know half of them. And I said after that, I think this is something I can do. And shortly after, I started my classes and been teaching ever since.
Where are you teaching out of?
I teach out of different studios, sometimes at Pearl Studios here in New York City. Okay. Also a place called Shetler Studios. Sometimes I go to people's houses when I do like one-on-one private sessions to prep them for auditions, or we'll meet at different locations. I'll even show up to the studio to prep you for a movie when they do the next barbershop and they invite you to do it.
See,
I
from
would
your
prep
mouth
you
to God's ears, amen.
Listen, God has Power 105. He's hearing it right now, man.
Absolutely. Victor Cruz is in the building. It's your main man, EmEz. Give me some of your favorite works that you've worked on.
For me, my favorite works, I would have to say I had a really nice time working on Blue Bloods with Donnie Wahlberg.
Okay.
That was a lot of fun. Donnie is like a dude in the neighborhood. He's from, obviously he's from Boston. I'm from New York, but it feels like somebody that I knew growing up. I would say The Other Woman with Cameron Diaz. Cameron Diaz is a super duper sweetheart, man. I mean, it made her even hotter than what she was when I remember her from The Mask. Yes. That was the first time I fell in love with her.
I said
on
that
The
to
Mask.
Everybody when they talk about Cameron Diaz.
Oh my God.
Cameron Diaz from The Mask and Cameron Diaz from Everyone Loves
is it Something About Mary?
Something About Mary.
Something About Mary.
Yeah. Two different chicks, man.
Yeah.
Two different chicks.
It's true because she had like a little bit of like that baby fat in The Mask.
Voluptuous and all that in The Mask.
Yes. And so when I met her, dude, she was so freaking cool. And it made her hotter. And in person, she's hotter than in the movies, dude. So it was a great experience. And of course, working with Al Pacino was probably one of my favorites. And I'll tell you why. Al Pacino is one of the most famous actors you can think of, next to like, Bobby De Niro and a bunch of others. But Al Pacino, when I worked with him, at no point did I feel like he was did he think he was like he was this big famous guy. For me, he was just an actor's actor. He was there to do what he does best, and we worked well together. And at first I thought I was gonna be nervous about it because it's Al Pacino, but I sure, we did our little rehearsal and I was good after that.
Got you. Victor Cruz in the building, the Sunday Sit Down. So like for instance, I want to get into acting. How could I sharpen my skills?
Well, first off, what I would start with you is to figure out what your passions are in the world of acting. Like, what do you want to do? And I do a series of mirror exercises where I would have you stand in front of the mirror and ask the simplest question, who am I? Now, it sounds like a simple question, but once you start asking that question and you start writing stuff down on paper, you realize, oh my God, I never realized that there were these other things that I had to offer or other things that I am that I really didn't know. From there, we start to dive into your strengths and where we can expand them. We start looking at monologues or characters that you might be passionate on, and we start working from there. And sometimes I'll have you even develop your own original material because sometimes we don't realize we're writers too. And so, yeah, man, it's a lot of cool stuff I can offer you, brother.
Cool. Well, listen, we about to set something up because I'm going to take some classes. I did a scene for this web series, and I got laughed at. Right? They told me
laughed at you, man.
These people in the room, they all laughed at me. I could take a joke.
Listen,
they
you
said
gotta
I
do it for
overacted.
you.
They said I overacted.
Okay.
I got shot in the leg, and it seemed like I was gonna die. I said, "There's major arteries in the leg. You can die from that." But they all made fun of me and said I overacted.
That's okay. That's
I'll show
okay.
It to you. Maybe
I would love to see it.
Some critiques on that.
I will. I will
Absolutely.
for sure.
So, give me a weird casting read for you. Like one time, besides the Soprano one where you said that it was intimidating in the first one. Give me one time where you were in a casting read and you're like, all right, this may not be the role I want, or I just walked into the worst situation ever.
Well, the only time I feel that it's a weird situation is when I go in and they'll say, a casting director might say, and this is not everybody, man, but I've had a couple situations where the casting director's like, if you could just be a little bit more Latino, that would be great, you know? And so I heard that over the years, and you start trying to do what you think they mean by that, and it's something that's totally outside of your element. And then one day, I just stood up for myself, and I said, you know what? I said, I'm sorry. I don't know what you're asking me here. Actually, no, I told her, I know what you're asking me here, and I'm not cool with this. I'm going to leave.
Gotcha.
And she's like, no, I didn't mean to offend. I said, listen, it's all good. It's all good. Continue casting your project. I'm out of here.
Yeah, it's just not for you.
It's just not for me. I just don't get it. You know, it's just not relevant to what's on paper with the character. And so I just wasn't sure. So I just left. I had to stand up for myself at that point because if you look at me, you don't think I'm Latino. You see the red hair and freckles, you're like, I'm not sure.
Might be Irish a little bit.
Might be Irish, you know? But I tell you this one weird experience I had. It wasn't in a casting situation. It was the day that I met Nicolas Cage. I did The Sorcerer's Apprentice. And usually when you get on set, they introduce you to the star. And they'll say, Nicolas Cage, this is Victor Cruz, Nicolas Cage. And he came over to me. He's like, hey, I'm Nicolas Cage. I was like, I know that. Since Raising Arizona, I know you're Nicolas Cage. You didn't have to tell me. So the whole night, I just kept thinking of him introduced. And every time he talked, I felt like he wanted to say, hey, I'm Nicolas Cage. Could you pass me that fork? So anyways, that was probably a weird moment for me in the acting world. Had nothing to do with casting, but it just came to mind.
Victor Cruz in the building. Jermaine, man, EmEz. So give me some things you'll be working on in the future. What do you got? Because you seem to be always getting work. So what's next for young Victor?
Well, today I am releasing my first feature film as a director. I share the director's card with one other person, a woman by the name of Guru Enlightenment. The film releases today. It's called The Stockroom. And you can actually go to Vimeo On Demand to download this, to own it. You could rent it. Matter of fact, we're celebrating tonight the release of the film.
Where?
At the world-famous Gotham Comedy Club on 23rd Street between 7th and 8th Avenue
time?
In New York City tonight at 8 p.m. All right?
I might swing by.
Yeah. No. You should definitely come through. It's going to be dope, man. We're going to have some great comics, people from the film. My boy Luis Antonio Ramos, he's on the show Power right now. He plays the character Ruiz. He's actually my one of my co-stars in the film.
Oh, cool.
And he'll be in the house. We also have April Hernandez Castillo, who plays my co-star in The Stockroom. She'll be in the house as well. You guys probably know her from Freedom Writers. Yeah. And actually, she was recently on Elementary and a bunch of other projects, man. She's always keeping busy as well. But The Stockroom is a big deal. The reason it's a big deal is because my first feature film as a director, of course, I said I'm sharing that card with someone else, and I'm actually distributing this film through my own company, Victor Cruz Entertainment. You know, distribution, of course, today is a totally tricky thing. It's not what it used to be. So, again, log on to Vimeo On Demand today. Rent it, download it, own it, and you can also purchase it on DVD if you log on to stockroommovie.com. So that's the next big thing, man. I got a couple of movies I'm going to be filming, a couple of commercials. I do a lot of commercials, so if cats look at me, they've probably seen me in a New York Lotto commercial or an Ally Bank commercial, or they might have just seen me on the train.
But that's good work, though.
Yeah.
Commercials, right?
Commercials is great. Look, dude, if you book a national commercial, all right, like you be okay. You be okay with the checks. Like if it's a good campaign, let's say you're doing like a Verizon or Progressive. I mean, you've seen these people, right? Remember like the "Can you hear me now" guy?
Yes.
That guy was straight.
Flo. What about Flo
from Progressive?
Yeah.
Dude, she's set.
Yeah.
She's set.
Good.
She's set. I mean, their contracts are pretty tight. Like they can't do anything else but that stuff. But I'm cool with that.
Because that's a nice check.
Yeah, dude, you build that money, you save your money. Once you're done with that campaign, if you got a little window of time, you produce your own job. You produce your own movies, your own music, whatever you want to do.
There it goes. So any advice for any young actors?
Learn technique, go to school, find a teacher that speaks to you. Don't just go to a school because it's a famous school for acting. They've got to speak to you, and they've got to be able to bring the best out of you and show you that you have the best inside. If they're not doing that, if they're beating the hell out of you, go find somebody else. You can come check me out. You can reach out to me at victorcruzactingclass.com. If it's not me, it's somebody else. The main thing I would say, the main ingredient for good acting, especially for anybody starting out, is love for yourself and trust yourself. Trust is a big thing. And that goes across the board for any art form. It could be a singer, a rapper, whatever you're thinking. If you trust yourself, dude, I mean, honestly, only the best will come.
No, I mean, I struggled with that particular thing for a long time, even trying to get into radio, because for such a long time as a kid, I was a fuck up, for lack of a better word. And then trusting my gut got me into trouble. So it took a long time for me to trust what I was doing was the right thing after being such a mess up as a kid. So I really see that, and I take that to heart for real, because I think that's very, very important for kids.
No, definitely, man. It's a hard thing because the world tells you what you should be, and we forget to listen to ourselves. And we have the answers. All you have to do is look inside. Like my co-director, who's also my spiritual counselor and teacher, she teaches me that you got to trust yourself, that you have the answers. No matter what you believe in, you've got the goods, man.
And we'll end it on that. It's the Sunday Sit Down. It's your main man, EmEz, Victor Cruz. Tell them how to get in contact with you for the classes, for your Instagrams, social media, and all that.
Great. All right. If you want to reach out to me, you can shoot me an email directly to victorcruzfilms@gmail.com. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook across the board, Victor Cruz Films. Be sure to log on to stockroommovie.com, download the Stockroom or purchase it on DVD or get some really cool merchandise. Otherwise, you got any other questions about anything, you can also let me know.
Got you. Victor Cruz, appreciate you for coming by, man.
Thanks, brother. Thank you.
It's the Sunday Sit Down.
Another example of how easy does it.